Hi, I'm Jeff Biggars of Biggar Hats, and I'm here in Ningbo, China with Mr. Carson of Sunflower Mercantile Hong Kong Group. And he is the man in the straw industry. And what a lot of people don't know is the vast majority of the straw industry is done in one city here in China, right here in Ningbo. So we're going to take you on a journey through kind of the history of that and how it's done. So if you would just like to tell me the different kinds of materials that you use right now, and then we'll kind of get into the history of those.
Yeah, we use that the Shantong material, and also using that the Chinese unglazed and Chinese glazed papers. Occasionally, we also supply some of the Taizhou material for making the cowboy hat. But majority of them is still that the Japanese paper glazed, or what we call it as Shantong.
Shantong.
In making the cowboy hats.
So where does the word Shantong come from?
Well, it was going back many years. You know, that when I believe that was John Milano, that he was still that Resisto's president at that time, and people asking what kind of material is this, and he just couldn't figure it out. Say, oh well, this is Shantong, so it comes out like that. Yeah,
I heard it's just it kind of just means nice.
It's not nice. Actually, Shantong is a province in the north of China, but they don't weave those things over there. Is because the weather and people, the way they do the weaving is totally doesn't fit the industry.
That's kind of like Panamas. All Panamas are woven in Ecuador, not in Panama. So
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
So what is the history of that material? When was it first used, and who is the person that brought it?
It comes all the way to my father, Mr. TCU. He went to Taiwan that in 1948, and because all my family have been in the business for a long time, more than getting close to 100 years old. My grandfather started business in 1927. So my fathers were trained, to collect the hat bodies from weavers, in this province. Before that, the liberation of Shanghai, the city of Shanghai in 1949, my father took the entire family with his father-in-law, to Taiwan. And in the middle portion of Taiwan, a place they call Qinshui, that means clear water. Okay. That's a place that people, they can do the weaving for Shantong as well, or raffia, or even a seagrass, something like that. Mm-hmm. And he went there, and so he started, collecting the seagrass paper, exporting to Australia and Spain.
And just to clarify, seagrass is seagrass.
Seagrass is seagrass.
Okay.
It's totally different. It's like coarser of fiber. Yeah. And so one time that he find the raffia is also a good one for weaving hat bodies, and people likes it. So he started making that, and gradually.
What is raffia made of?
Raffia is a palm leaves, that only grows in Madagascar. Yeah. Of course, there's some other raffia that grow in the Philippines, but the quality and the hand feeling is not that great at all compared to Madagascar.
Okay, so it's made from the actual leaves?
Yes, of the palm leaves. They had harvest in the very early morning before the sun goes up.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting things. And so my father was also making sisos, Paris siso and Paris window and all those different kind of material.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where does siso come from?
The siso actually from that Philippines, and that is the banana tree fiber.
Banana tree fiber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all from them.
And where does the word sisal come from?
The sisal,
Where's the word come from?
that's the name of what they call the sisal.
Yeah.
I have no idea about that.
Don't know the answer.
Yeah.
So, so continue.
Okay. So one time that we have an agent that in U.S. His name is Peter J. Bath. He's a very knowledgeable man, and because in the past we're doing everything in millinery business, and the business competition is getting tougher and tougher. So he came to my father and said, "Hey, TC, why not try something for men? Because men also wear hats, and look at the Panamas. They don't last long, and the fiber just really fragile, just easily, broke. After like a couple years. Not durable at all."
They make nice hats, but not nice cowboy hats.
Yes.
Cowboys can't cowboy in them.
Yes. So he's discussed with my father, and my father said, "Oh, okay." So he got that mind, and he started thinking what kind of material we should use it. And because my father was getting involved into a lot of crochet business, and he frequently visit Japan. And one time that he was maybe in the toilet or some other hotel, that he find out there's papers up there on the wall, because at that time the wallpaper is all made from the paper, the little strip of paper, and was glazed. It's really nice. The hand fitting is nice. So he's thinking about this, and then he just go and hire his agent, and eventually that we find out the material is actually from a factory who's supplying the yarn, for those wallpaper factory. From there, he took it back to Taiwan and asked the weavers to do that, and then he submitted the sample, to Peter J. Bath, and Peter J. Bath turned the sample to Mr. Baroni of Resisto at that time.
Right.
And here comes the Shantong, all the way till now.
As a force.
Yeah.
And so they call it here they call it yarn, but in the videos that follow, we're going to show you, and it is paper, strips of paper. It's a fascinating process. And we're going to take you in depth to the factories and the houses where they're actually woven. It's incredible. But what a crazy discovery, wallpaper. So this hat right here was initially made out of the material for wallpaper. It's insane.
Yes, amazing. I look at that the paper is totally different. When you compare to a Japanese Shantong and the Chinese glazed, there's two different stories. Even they look alike, they may feel alike, but the genuine Shantong, they are made from the original Japanese paper, and of course inside the paper, besides the paper pulp, they also get in some other Japanese bamboo fibers or different kind of straw in there, and melt them and blend them in order to make that special yarn, and that's why you create a durable of the hat. But right. The Chinese one, it just lasts for a short period of time and just go off.
So the two all the paper comes from Japan.
The Shantong paper comes from Japan.
All Shantong paper comes from Japan.
Yes. And
you have there's a glazing process, which is top secret apparently. I can't show you all that process, but it's fascinating. So you have Japanese glazed paper and you have Chinese glazed paper, and one of the issues with we'll talk more about the age of the ladies that do this, but one of the issues is the Chinese glaze is currently not as good as the Japanese glaze. However, it's much easier to weave, and so these ladies, they only weave so many hats, and they want to weave the easier one.
apparently everyone wants to do that. The easier one,
The easier
easier to
one.
make money.
But that's probably good. Can we talk about your process that you've come up with and how that probably should take over from the Japanese? Because the Japanese is not only harder to weave, but it's harder to get, correct?
It's very difficult to get it. The major reason why is Japan is turning into a old people's nation. Average people there is like 70 something, and the old factory, they have, according to the owner's information, that the average worker's age is more than 80 years old. So I don't think that they will be exist for another 5 years.
So that's just the same thing as the weavers.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that. So I've heard, from Carson and other people for the past 20 years that there's nobody coming up to replace the weavers. It was something that was handed down from grandmother to daughter, and they're just not doing that anymore. And so, of course, I've heard that for years and years, and that's just a sales thing or whatever. And we're going to take you to some of these places where they're weaving, and they are. I mean, there's the youngest person I met is 57, and so just it's insane. You have this whole industry, and the youngest person there's probably certainly younger ones, but 57 years old, and many of them were in their 70s.
Yes, in average.
So yes, it is just a dying art with nobody coming up. What you mentioned that it was first woven in Taiwan. Is there nobody there anymore that can do it? Is it the same kind of thing, or?
Because the Taiwan has been industrialized too much, and only a limited ladies in one town can do it. Probably, I believe there's only like 20 or 30 ladies can do it, but they only doing some other shawls, lindus. But I don't think they would like to work full time on that. They just do it on the leisure,
Right.
as a fun or as an art or something like that.
Yeah, like a hobby.
Yes.
And make a little extra money.
Yeah, it's not the money is not the things for them. They just
Have to have something to do. Yeah. So you can't count on that for production.
No way. You can't. You won't get enough heads. Definitely.
So the Shantong industry is currently 100% done here in Ningbo.
Yes.
100% done in this city. And it's a city. There are 9 million people here.
Yes.
Very large, but only place in the world you're getting this. Now, how many, by your estimate, how many weavers do you think are out there?
I believe there are approximately 2,000 weavers there, but 50% of them, they work in the factory somewhere else around the city, and they won't do any kind of things. But the only day they probably work on that is in the evening when they finish all the household work, and then they do something. So it takes almost 1 or 2 weeks, for them to finish one hat. So we don't count that,
Right.
And so only less than 1,000 workers, they work. I won't say they work full time, because when they wake up, the first thing they have to do, they have to prepare breakfast for their kids or their husband, and then they can do a little bit, because they did it for the breakfast, and they gotta go back there and go shopping for their food for the entire day, and they gotta prepare the lunch, and after they did that, they go to the town center hall or someone else home, gather in there, sit down and gossip with each other, and then they do some weavings there.
Yeah.
And by 4 o'clock, and they all left, go to prepare for the dinners.
Yeah.
You know, and after dinners, and washing the dishes and doing laundry, whatever, and then they will start doing that again. So it's just not that much hours they can do. You know, usually the people they don't do it on full-time basis. Yeah.
So to put that in perspective, if you see a hat like this, it comes from this city. The body doesn't come from Mexico, certainly not the USA. It comes from this city. And so supplying the entire industry, whether I'm making it or the big boys are making it, there are 1,000
or less.
1,000 or less weavers supplying this entire industry. And so you have 1,000 part-timers. They're making a hat for you every 2 weeks. But a hat like this typically will take them 1 day.
Yeah, typically it will take them 1 day if that's a skillful one.
If it's a good weaver, 1 day to make this one hat. And there's less than 1,000 making them for the entire industry.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. So that brings us to Bangora, the Bangora body, also called Bangkok.
Yeah, Bangkok.
What is the beginning of that story?
The beginning of that, the reason why they call it is Bangkok is because people telling me, oh well, because it started in Bangkok, Thailand. But I just don't think so, because Thailand, I just couldn't find any kind of machines like that. It originally from Kobe, Japan.
Kobe, Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so all the Shantong bodies, like you're about to see, are woven completely by hand. There's no machine that touches these hats until they get into the Western Hemisphere. 100% by hand, and it is an incredible process. However, the Bangkok body or the Bangora body is done on a machine. However, there's still quite a bit of handwork, and you're going to see that, and that's equally as fascinating. That factory yesterday was crazy. Yes. I mean, you have all these ladies, all these machines, and so that was incredible. So that process that's done here in Ningbo.
No, that's in Taizhou. Different.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're still in China. It's one province over.
Not the one province, but another little city that in south of Ningbo.
Yeah, we went into the countryside yesterday. So it's also here, and they do some in Mexico, not a whole lot.
Mexico, maybe only 20 people doing that.
20 people.
Yeah, not much.
Okay. So the rest of the Bangor industry is done in
China. In China.
98%, 99% is done in one city. Yeah.
And also, I won't say that, because there's a big portion that done in the northern China.
Okay.
They do that because it's easier to train the people to do that. As long as you have time and with the machine available, they can do that. Yeah. So it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that. Just seeing that. So I've heard, from many people, well, they do it like this and do it like that. But to just actually see it like you're going to see it. And I've done this for 28 years. And I've heard about this process forever and ever, but I've never seen it. So lucky you don't have to fly around the world to see it. You're going to see it in the videos coming up. Let's go back to Shantong. And so they make these strips of paper, and the paper is thinner than a sheet of paper. So that you write on, I would say it's half as thick or maybe even a quarter as thick. It's very thin. Very thin, and they use these machines to twist them. and so they'll twist them, and then they'll go through the flatteners, or
No, glazing.
glazing next.
Glazing process.
Then you do
The flattening.
the highly top secret glazing process, and then they'll get twisted,
Yes.
and then
Flattened.
twisted, glazed, and then flattened,
Yes.
which is basically these rollers.
Yes.
And so it comes off, just an extremely long rectangle. What do you think they're?
A rectangular rack, for them to, after the glazing, they need the rectangular rack, to let them have enough time, to expose the yarn in the air to dry out the glazing.
To dry it out.
Yeah.
And then they cut those strands. How long do they cut them?
They don't cut it, they actually, for the weavers, they measure it. It depends on how long they need. Usually there's an arm for
Arm length.
Yeah.
So when you have this, when it starts up here, it comes all the way down the hat, or a long way.
Yeah,
And then they'll kind of
keep filling according to the little pinhole right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta fill the yarn in order to expand it, to the required bring size. Yeah.
And then they'll start tying in.
Yeah.
Which is also crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait for y'all to see that. So what is there any more history you'd like to share? I mean, it's all unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about it.
I think that's it.
That's it. That's the whole industry right there.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, let's talk about the poly rope.
Oh yeah, the poly rope is another thing. Yeah. My father, Mr. TCU, find that material occasionally because he was traveling in Japan and sitting in the train, and in the train, those lady, they're selling that the little bundles, a little paper box. It's not paper, but it's some kind of skin, made from the wood, and then they have some rice in there, some pickles in there, and some other little things. So my father was feeling hungry at that time, so he just bought one, and they use a little poly rope to tie that bundle and make it so nice, because poly rope is like, it's like a yellowish color of a ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, the wood skin just matches. Looking, that little bundle so beautiful, very attractive for people to eat. And so he took it out and he find that, hey, this material is so good for weaving. And again, he called his agent up, because my father doesn't speak that well Japanese. That way he has to hire an agent. So the agent helped him, and source that factory who make that. Eventually find one, and we order probably 100 kilo, of it, and he passed it to the weavers there in Taiwan. Bingo, that become a hot items during the urban cowboy period.
Urban cowboy.
Yeah, urban cowboy. Man, that sells a lot. People loves it.
I feel like an urban cowboy, just from the stories that I've heard, there were so many new things, and a lot of that reason was they just ran out of materials to make hats out of. It's like, well, what's next? What's next? So like on felt hats, you had your felts. It's also some of the poorest quality hats you ever made because the production was just so fast. But they ended up making hats out of denim, just all these crazy things because it didn't matter. Does it look like a cowboy hat? That'll work, that'll work. So that's interesting. So that's about the time, urban cowboy, that's when the poly rope.
Exactly.
And so we're going to show you later, but it looks like paper, I guess. And the same thing, it's a long strand, but you actually pull it apart and it's got this like webbing in between.
Yes.
And that's where, you get your strength, but there's certainly a process to making poly ropes. It's not near as easy as making Shantung. I guess it's easier to weave because it's a wider.
No, it's not easier to weave. The reason why behind it is it's so slippery than the paper yarn. The paper on the Shantong paper yarn, you got a resistance on that because the surface is not really smooth. But the poly rope, that is a man-made material, and they got it from some other chemical stuff. I quite not aware of it. What exactly?
Don't know the chemistry of it.
Yeah. And
but
so
I mean,
slippery,
like plastic.
Yeah, something like that. So that's why when they pulled it out from the machine, that it was slippery. So it's hard, for the weavers to do it. Because it just doesn't go in there, doesn't go into the head. It bounces back.
Yeah.
So it takes a while for them to do that.
So it's that's all woven in Ningbo.
No, they're also woven. Yes, on the mountainside.
In the mountains.
On the mountainside.
And did it used to be done in Taiwan?
It used to be done in Taiwan, but not anymore. Okay.
And Ningbo, just a part of the city. It's on the coast, and it's surrounded by mountains, kind of like Las Vegas. How you have Vegas, and it's just surrounded by. You're surrounded by mountains, but it's just Las Vegas on steroids. It's just massive place. We drive for 2 hours. We're still in the city. It's crazy to me. But polyropes came out then. What the Bangora, about what year did that come about?
The Bangora, I think the Bangora become very, very popular. Was in the 60s.
Yeah.
60s. The biggest buyers there in America, that's international hats at that time. And now they call the Paramount Cap Company or something.
Paramount hats.
Yeah, Paramount hats.
Yeah,
it was that before, and they are the biggest buyer of that, and they're making those Bangora hats in US at that time. Everything there. So it just goes for the long history. But of course, now that in America, not too many people are making the Bangora. Most of them they're made in Mexico. Yeah. That's very sad.
Yeah, that woven here, but finished out in Mexico. But I think the Bangora is going to maybe make a push in the years to come. We'll think about that later. Just because it's going to be harder to weave them by hand. So I'll just kind of talk about my trip here. Has been unbelievable, but there's so many things. Number one, about China in general, misconceptions. Every time I go somewhere, and I've been not everywhere, but I have been all around the world, I try to keep an open mind on what I'm coming into. For instance, like New York, you hear all these things about New York, about the people, about this and that. And when I went there, it was the nicest people. They were just so nice to me. So, there's things that Same thing about China. Expecting to get off the plane and see all this smog and just, I don't know, just what do you think about when you think about it and you get here and it's an industrial city, but it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, gorgeous city. You're going to see some of that too. But I mean, just everybody's nice and keeps their head down and works. And so it's been great to see. Not only learn a lot about the hat industry, but you just learn about the Chinese people and so I appreciate Carson taking the time to let me come here and follow him around and just, and just learn all this stuff, because I don't like to do anything half-heartedly. I want to know everything. That's just the curiosity and is not only to, hey, I know this, but to use that knowledge to make a better hat, because that's what it's all about in the end. make the best product out there, and you can't do that unless you know everything, or you know the most, whatever. But what are your closing thoughts on this trip? Are you ready to get rid of me? You're tired of me?
No, I'm happy to have you here. I'm so happy, to show you how those hats being made, and everything is done by those ladies' hands, and so that way that you can just show the ending customers, that what they buying, they're not just buying a piece of hat, that's a piece of art. So that's why asking that everyone, when you buying the hat and you receiving the hat as a gift, please take good care of it, because every inches of it is done by a lady's hand, and they work hard. They love you if you care for their hats.
Yeah, he'll see. Number one, they're very proud of their work, and they absolutely should be. But they're in these little houses or event centers or wherever, and they're just dressed to the nines. They get dressed up. So I love that. I just love that part of it.
And they're not knowing that you're coming.
Yeah, it wasn't they're dressing up for the American guy. That's just the way they do it. But when we did come in there, they were just so excited to see me, and every place we went, they were great hosts as well. But it was good for them too. I brought the straw hat. You notice I'm wearing a hoodie with the straw hat, and I've been wearing Jack with the straw hat, but I purposely wore that here so they could see what they're doing. What this is the end product of what you're doing, because I don't think many of them have ever seen it.
Yeah,
so,
many of them it's just the first time.
So it's a great trading of information on both sides. So thank you so much. Your hospitality has been incredible, and just thank you for teaching me so much.
My pleasure. I'm so happy that you came here, and so you bring back all the what the actual situation here in China, just not as what other people talking, And the place is beautiful, the food is delicious. We have a good steak, right?
We had a wonderful steak.
Amazing.
And you hear Carson talk, and of course he speaks so good English, but he lived in the United States for how long?
16 years.
16 years he lived in the United States. So he knows what we're talking about when we think about China in general. But I think this is one for the books, and just so glad that you had me here.
Well, I'm happy that you came here too. I purposely invite you here, and I'm glad that you are here, and so we can discuss, and we can enjoy the food, and we can enjoy to meeting all my friends over there. See, so that way that the people, they're happy to know you. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to talk to you. Although they speak a broken English, but still that is with the hand language. That it works.
Yeah, they're so excited. I can't.
And he drinks white wine as well.
that was gasoline. That was not wine at all. That was moonshine in a bottle. Crazy. But I'm excited to show you what you're about to see, because if you're anything like me, it's going to blow your mind, and you're just fortunate to see this. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people, because even when we give people a tour of our store, many of them who have been wearing hats their entire lives, they're like, well, this is where we make the felts, we get the bodies from Portugal. This is where we make the straws, we get the bodies from China. What? The bodies? Yeah, all the bodies come from China. Oh, that's where you get them? No, that's where everybody gets them. Everybody gets them from here. So if you're just finding that out, there you go. But even if you knew that, you're not going to believe what you're about to see unfold. So enjoy.
Thank you. Takes for an old lady at least 5 days to finish it. And besides that, the old lady, they're really old and area they are getting rich. So their folks, doesn't want their mom, to do it anymore. And so this is very getting extinguished.
And what type of body is this?
Huh?
What type of body is it?
Oh, that's the 3 bull 1 by 1.
Shantong.
Yeah, Shantong. Like that. That's original structure of the yarn, like that. And the reason why this yarn is creating a resistance, because this yarn in Japan, they used to make it for something, in a vegetable garden or fruit garden. They use it to protect all those, fruit being bitten by the birds, something like that. So that's
Okay.
what they use it for that. But my father find this and they like that, and we woven it into a hat, come out like that. It's what we call it was a poly rope.
Poly rope. And
Yeah.
where is that woven at? Here in
Also,
Ningbo?
Yeah, in the Zhejiang province. In the Zhejiang province. Not in Ningbo. In Ningbo, usually we were doing that, but not that many left. So got to be another district. Yeah.
And this is, was that 8Bu or?
Now that's all 100%. No, that's 5Bu.
That's 5Bu.
5Bu and the poly rope. Yeah. In the morning, the ladies, the weavers, they cook for their family and also do some laundry and household work, and in the afternoon, they just walk to some other place together with their friends, they're all old ladies. And they're doing that weaving together and talk and gossip about the neighbors and all those things. And like around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, and they start their work and go to pick up their grandkids for their children, because their children got a full-time work, but while they are retired, so they go there, pick up their kids, pick up their grandkids, and then taking back to their home and start, cooking something, for the grandkids to eat, then start, and the dinner and everything, waiting for everyone to come back and eat. And after the dinner time, if they have time, they just do a little bit of weaving to complete that.
At their home.
Yeah, at their home.
How many weavers are there?
For my estimate, that there will be around 2,000 weavers.
In Ningbo.
Yeah, in Ningbo. And 1,000 weavers, they work, most of the time, they do all the work at home, for the weaving. But there are other thousands, they probably, during the daytime, they may work in the factory, and they only do it in their leisure time.
They do it part-time.
Yeah.
And all the Shantong, every Shantong body is woven in Ningbo.
In Ningbo. Only in Ningbo. For the other district, the quality is not as good as Ningbo.
Okay.
For the poly ropes, my father find the things. He was in a trip to Japan, and on the train, and he was ordering a bento. That's the little food package, they're selling on the train, So that little poly rope, he was find it. He was wrapping the box, and he take out the string and say, "Hey, this is good for weaving." So he asked his Japanese agent to find the material in Japan. Eventually, they got it and shipped in some of that material, and my father have those yarns, woven into hat bodies, and that thing comes out really popular for Resisto and American hat during the urban cowboy.
And that initially was in Taiwan?
The weaving was done in Taiwan.
And it's all done in Ningbo now, or still?
Now in Zhejiang province, not in Ningbo.
Okay, but in China. It's all done in China.
Yes.
So they count every piece of yarn when they're doing this?
Well, every here is 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that all 4 holes, they have to count it. But for the regular weaving, 2 by 2, they don't need to count it. They just close their eyes and do the weaving. So this is why the more the pattern, more the fancy weaving, it costs more because they cannot talk. They got to do very carefully.
They got to
otherwise they won't get
concentrate on
paid.
what they're doing. Yeah.
Because when they recognize that, oh, this is a wrong one, a wrong pattern, they say, oh, I'm sorry. They won't collect the money. Yeah, that's how it was.
In a sample box when I worked for a different hat company, and it turns out that this was it's from the 1960s, and this was Carson's father that probably invented it, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I said, that's crazy. We got to make that. So we just when we made it the initial sample, it wasn't strong enough. And so we kind of redesigned the squares there, but just crazy how that started. His father made something 60 years ago. I find it in a box 20 years ago. And then, so here we are. It's like full circle. But that's one of the most popular styles in probably the last 20 years, and still going today. There it is.
My blood, and I was riding through the midnight hour in a Jacksboro flooding. And I won't stop gambling till I lost too many farms. And my woman done fell for me in a richer man's arms. My God, oh my God. Well, someone stole my candles and burned them at both ends. I can't afford to pay attention, drank away my drinking friends. And I'm hunting down the coyote that has outside this dive. And I shot at the moon last night for my last 45. My God, oh my God. Well, my mama was a pistol, I'm a son of a gun. Yeah, my daddy was a Yankee, and he lived on the run. I was born in a cane field, I was raised to blame. Till I thought I told you boys, I was going insane. My God, well, I keep on getting older and younger by the ride. I can't take it easy anymore, ain't an easygoing guy. And when my living's all over with no fate left to save, take blue bonnets, pain and anger and place them on my grave. My God, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm headed back to Fort Worth, shiner in my blood, and I was riding through the midnight hour in a Jacksboro flooding. And I won't stop for gambling till I lost too many farms. And my woman done and fell for me in a richer man's arms. My God, oh my God, oh my God. My gospel screams of justice, my words stuck in the ground, to plant my seeds right in the evil ground I found. So I stand fast and ready when the wolf knocks at the door, with neither fear nor anger, and all will be restored. do right, feel no man.
Hold it.
Do
Hold
right,
it like that.
feel no man.
Biggar. Ah, yeah. What's wrong?
They said, son, keep your nose clean, but I can't help but smell the stench of others.
Ask them if they're scared I'm gonna take their job.
My heart beats like Virginia, done spit myself into one side made for forgiveness, other pays the dues.
Hold on.
Keep doing that? No, I gotta pull it over.
I don't know how much.
I gotta pull it over. How do I pull it over? Yeah, this
Do right and fear no man. Do right and fear no man.
One, two. One, two. Okay.
No man. Fear no man.
One.
Fear no man. Do right and fear no man. Fear no man.
Cowboy here.
No man.
Get some. Slow down.
Well, I drink Tennessee whiskey, I smoke Alaskan weed. I'm the last knife fighter, I'm a living, dying breed.
I'm gonna stick to me.
I shot man in the ring, 'cause Johnny said I could.
So we're here at the Bangora factory. We found this new material. It's not new, but I've never seen it in a cowboy hat. So we're designing one as we go. So we're going to try this new material. It's twisted paper, and they're going to put it in Bangora right now. Have to speak. So pretty exciting.
I gotta fight in Hollywood. And I say, hey, I'll knock you down someday. Well, I ain't too high on feelings. I don't comfort no one. Yeah, the bottle is my God now, and the glass is only hurt. And I'm walking in the morning, and I'm thinking late at night. But I'm stuck away from until my last night. That they go. I keep my lamp trimmed and low. I'll knock you down someday. So I keep my booty on me and my boots by the door. I keep her looking over my shoulder. I don't sleep good anymore. Yeah, you see me coming with you. Big step aside. Shiner in my blood, and I was riding through the midnight hour in a Jacksboro flooding. And I won't stop for gambling till I lost too many farms. And my woman done and fell from me in a richer man's arms. My God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
What is this? That's the original?
All
看到吗？看到吗？高起来的啊，都不平的啊，都高起来，然后我踩一下就平了。
So you just using the hammer, you punch those things.
Well, I'm a well-known stranger, and I got the blues. Hell, I get awful low when I hear happy news, and I'm cursing the sunshine and praying for rain. No, I can't breathe through my lungs, oh, like I used to do. I can't see through my eyes, and they losing their blue, and my back's all a wreck, but hell, my heart is too. Well, I got 2012 gauges underneath my bed. I got 5,000 voices oh inside of my head, and they speaking in tongues, but I can understand them. Well, I'm a well-known stranger. You know I got them blues. You know I get awful low when I hear happy news, and I'm cursing the sunshine, praying for rain. You know this bottle in my hand, well, it used to be full of them empty promises. Take away my blues, oh, but this one's a liar.
See?
I'll get
There were three lines of
Three
feeling. There are 3 lines of feeling. That means this is tighter, the stronger body. So this one, this is loose. It is only 2 lines of feeling. 1 line, 2 lines.
And what does she do with that yarn? She just saves it and then she makes her own.
Yeah.
Cause I'm up my blood, and I was riding through the midnight hour in a Jacksboro flooding. And I won't stop for gambling till I lost too many farms, and my woman done fell from me in a richer man's arms. My God, oh my God.
So when they're just this pattern right here.
Well,
Just
someone stole my
this
candles
intricate pattern.
and burned
Takes
them
about
at
5
both
hours.
ends. I can't
Just go all
afford
the way
to
around.
pay attention. Drank away my drinking friends, and I'm hunting down the coyote that has outside this dive. And I shot at the moon last night with my last 45. My God. Oh my God. Well, my mama was a pistol, I'm a son of a gun. Yeah, my daddy was a Yankee, and he lived on the run. I was born in a cane field, I was raised to plain. Well, I thought I told you boys I was going insane. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I keep on getting older and younger by the ride. I can't take it easy anymore. Ain't an easygoing guy. And when my living's all over with no fate left to save, take blue bonnets, pain and anger and place them on my grave. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I'm headed back to Fort Worth, shiner in my blood, and I was riding through the midnight hour in a Jacksboro flooding. And I won't stop for gambling till I lost too many farms, and my woman done and fell for me in a richer man's arms. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sitting here in China with Mr. Wong, who is 97 years old, and the secret to life is 5 cigarettes a day and a glass of wine.
And white wine all the time.
White wine and 5 cigarettes a day. If you want to be 97 years old, that's what you got to do.